Hey, yoga friends, thanks for joining. I am on the mat today to bring you a short movement break. So, today we're not going to flow at all. There's going to be no bearing weight on hands. We're just going to step from pose to pose, use our breath still, and have a little bit of fun. Find the strength that lives inside of us. So, we'll be using the mat today and step anywhere onto your mat. Feet hip distance or wider, hands down by your side. Just let the eyes shut to begin. Starting nice and slow as always, and just find the breath in your body. You might notice your chest rising and falling in a reaction to the breath. Just notice what you're showing up with right now. If you notice any little bumps in the breath, do your best to iron them out. Encouraging a nice calm and clear mind as we move. Let's open up our eyes, just take in the space that we're in. And from here, we're going to step to the top of the mat. Bring your feet about hip distance, and we're going to bring a big bend in the knees, sit back, and reach the arms up by your ears. Let's hold here nice and stable. Draw your weight back to your heels. Imagine your arms just stretching out as far as they can go. Sit a little bit deeper. Trust that heat building in the legs. One more breath, and we'll press back to stand. Hands down beside you. Now take your left leg. We're going to step nice and wide out to the side. Keep the right toes facing the long edge of the mat and bring a bend into the knee. Warrior two. We're going to hold this rather strong. Expand through the arms. And that knee should be bent right over your front ankle. Let's take a look at the back leg as well. Sometimes I like to bring my toes in slightly just so I can widen and open up my hips more to the side of the room and allowing that knee to rest over the ankle rather than it falling in. Continue to stretch and rest here. Let's straighten out our front leg, pivot those toes to the long edge of the mat, and bring both hands to waist. Inhale, we'll grow a little bit taller. And exhale from the waist, fold forwards. Now, this is our first forward fold. So let the knees be soft if that feels nicer. And allow the head to just dangle. You can look left and right. Think about a droopy tongue, softness between your eyebrows. Let's use our next breath in. Lengthen out the spine. With a soft bend in the knees, bring your hands to waist and charge through the heels to come all the way back up to stand. Now we're going to turn the left toes to the top or the back of the mat. We're just switching sides and bending the left knee. Expand through the arms. So give yourself some time to just really feel this shape again. Reach through both arms. Check out that front knee. And decide if you want to bring a little bit of an angle in on that back leg as well to open up the hips to the side of the room. One more breath. From here, we're going to spring towards our left foot with the back foot to what is now the top of the mat. All right. Bring your feet back to hip distance, bend your knees, sit back into your chair. This time around, bend the elbows, bring them down to rest in front of the heart. Keep the spine long, and we're going to rotate the spine open towards the right. You might tuck that elbow behind the knee, or at least it's working in that direction. Now press the top palm down even more to spiral the heart open. Come on back through center. Straighten out the legs. Hands come down beside you. Now it's the right leg that's going to move. Take a big wide step open. Keep the left toes at the top of the mat. Bend your knee, warrior two. This time around, bring that back hand to your back leg. Left arm stretches to the sky. And imagine that left hip crease just pulling up a little bit higher so that the left side of the body can really reach up and back. Send your breath into the left rib cage. Come on back through warrior two. This time we're going to bring our front forearm to front thigh. And the right arm comes to frame the face. Roll your shoulder open and look up at the sky. So we are resting that bottom forearm onto our front thigh, but still try to feel like your torso and your core is wrapping around and holding it there almost on its own. Come on back up. Warrior two. Straighten out the front leg. Pivot the toes to the long edge of the mat. This time around, hands come to waist. Inhale, grow tall. Just like before, we'll hinge forwards over the legs and let the hands drop down. Let's find a hamstring stretch this time. So fingertips walk back in line with the heels. And just let the grippiness of the mat pull the crown of your head down and tailbone up. Walk your hands forwards again. Find length from tailbone to crown. Bring hands to waist and charge through the feet to come up to stand. Turn the right toes to the short edge of the mat and bend your right knee. Reach both arms out. Warrior two. We'll explore that again. Left hand touches the back leg. Right arm reaches to the sky this time. Feel a little bit more lightness and brightness coming all the way from the right hip crease through those right fingertips as you reach up and back. Traveling through warrior two. Bring yourself forward, shelf the forearm to thigh. Left arm comes overhead as you roll your shoulder open. Extended side angle. When I hang out here, I really like to think about that back foot all the way from the pinky toe through your pinky fingers, stretching as long as you can. Now press through the right foot, come back up, warrior two, and we're going to spring back to the top of the mat. Get springy on the back foot. It's going to come join the right mountain pose. Feet hip distance, bend the knees, sit back, arms come overhead. So just like last time, bend the elbows, bring them into a prayer in front of the heart. We're going to twist towards the left. The right elbow hooks behind the knee. Press the top palm down, spiral the heart open. Press all the way back up to stand, and your left foot's going to step out, warrior two. We'll add a little bit more movement this time. So your inhale, straighten out the front leg, reach to the sky. Exhale, re-bend that front knee. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, bend back down. One more, inhale, and exhale. Keep the hands as they are, but we'll straighten out the front leg. Reach way past your front toes as you pull the other hip back behind you, and then pivot the arms. So right hand rests on the inseam, left arm is stretching up. Let's look up at the top hand. So once again, we're really focusing on the core to hold us here, just with a little bit of help of pressing the back of the hand into the leg. Imagine everything wrapping around, holding you nice and strong. So let the top arm pull you back up. Let's reverse our triangle pose, left hand to left leg, right arm stretches to the sky. Continue to keep the spine supported, and you might even be able to reach the hand a little further back behind you. So come on back up with a straight spine and spin those right toes to the long edge of the mat. This time around, hands come back behind you with your right thumb on top of left, or hold on to opposite elbows. Draw the hands down the back body. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, grow a little bit taller on the inhale, and exhale will fold forwards. Now the hands might be happy resting on the low back. They might want to Come up to the sky and fall back behind you with gravity for a shoulder stretch. If the hands are still clasped behind you, bring them to the low back and melt them down towards the ground. We'll walk your fingertips forwards. You lengthen out the spine from the tailbone through the crown of your head. Let's come into some side lunges. Bend into the right knee, then bring it over, bend into the left. Do that 2 more times each side and go slowly, just being mindful of opening up your hamstrings. Eventually find 2 straight legs again. Halfway lift the spine as your hands find your waist. Drive your heels into the ground, come up to stand. Let's spin the left toes to the short edge of the mat. Bend your knee, warrior 2. Inhale, press into that leg, reach to the sky. Exhale, land back down, warrior 2. Inhale, lift. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale. And exhale, 1 more. Inhale, light as a feather. And exhale, nice and grounded. The arms stay where they are as you straighten out the front leg. Pull the left arm towards that side, hips draw back. Pivot those arms again, triangle pose. Allow the top hand to pull you back up to stand until that hand finds the back leg. Left arm stretches up, reaching up and then back for a side stretch as well as a back bend. Come on back through center, rebend the left knee. We're going to spring to the side or towards your left foot with the right foot, mountain pose. Bend your knees, sit back into your chair, weight back into your heels. Now we're going to move our weight here. So as if you're skiing down a hill, hands go back behind you, shift the weight into your toes. And then change your mind, arms reach up, weight into the heels. Do that a couple more times, shifting weight into toes, weight into heels. 1 more, weight into the toes, weight into the heels. Press into the legs, come to stand, and your right foot's going to step wide. Warrior 2. We're going to flow a little bit more here by inhaling into your reverse warrior and exhale to extended side angle. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Do that 1 more time. So moving with breath, back and forth, making sure the spine feels supported every step of the way. And we'll find warrior 2 again. Straighten your front leg, send the toes to the long edge, hands come back behind you, left thumb on top, or hold on to opposite elbows. Lift tall through the spine as the hands draw down and fold forwards over your legs. Bring the hands to the low back and unlace them so they can find the ground. Walk your fingers forward so you're long from the tailbone through the crown of your head and come back into side lunges starting on the left side. Bend that knee. Bring it over, bend the right knee. Couple more of those. Find 2 straight legs. Bring your hands to waist as you halfway lift and press into the legs to come up to stand. Right toes will pivot towards the short edge and bend your right knee. Expand through the arms. Get nice and flowy again with the upper half. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, bring it back, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended. Press back up, warrior two. Look to the front and spring to the top of the mat. All right. Let's move down. We'll come to a seat, so any way that makes the most sense for you. Now we're going to come into a forward fold, our Baddha Konasana, cobbler pose. If you like to sit on a block or if you like to sit on a blanket, go gather that and just place it under the seat. It sometimes allows this low back to just have a little bit more space if you feel like it's compressing and rounding, okay? So whenever you're ready, we bring a bend into the knees, soles of the feet come to touch. And let's just hang out here for a moment, fingertips behind. You might even just bounce the knees. Try to loosen up the hips. And come back to stillness. So press the finger pads down to try to lift the spine out of those hips. And slowly we'll come forwards over our legs. Let's be here 2 more deep breaths. Let them be compassionate. Send them to the areas that are needing that extra breath, that extra love. And we can come on back up to sit. Straighten out the left leg. Keep the right knee bent, and we're going to step it over to the opposite side. Keep the right hand behind you as a kickstand. Take a breath in. We're going to stretch the arm up. And exhale, bend the elbow to tuck it behind the knee. Inhale, grow tall. And exhale, look around the shoulder and do your best to find this twist coming from the spine rather than just the neck. Unrotate, derotate, look around, look to the left for 1 breath. And back through center. Lean into your hands behind you. And we're going to keep the right knee bent and just cross the ankle on top of the knee or on top of the thigh. Now from here, bend the left knee and bring the sole of the foot to the ground. So you can walk your hands back as much as you need to keep that back straight. Or if you're not finding this too difficult, you can always walk that foot closer to you. So we're in a seated figure 4 shape. Keep a dorsiflex into that right ankle so the toes shine back towards the shin. Try to use the strong muscles in your leg to press the thigh further away from yourself. To come out of this, we can wiggle the toes back forwards and just uncross that ankle. Give yourself a moment just to bounce the knees. Other side, left knee bends, step it across to the other side. Left hand's your kickstand. Take a big breath in, stretching the right arm up. And exhale, tuck the elbow behind the knee. Inhale to grow longer. Exhale to rotate. Swivel around, look the other way for a moment. And come on back through center. So lean into your hands with a nice long spine. Cross the ankle just on top of the thigh as you decide how close you want to bring the shin to you. Remember, dorsiflexed ankle, press the thigh actively away and send those breaths where they're needed. You can wiggle that heel back ahead, untie yourself, and just bounce the knees. All right, let's bring a bend into both knees. Toes go to the top of the mat. Coming down to your back, you can roll back. You can just walk your hands back until the spine finds the ground. Let's bring your feet a little closer to you. So stacked under the knees, hands down beside you. Now tuck your tail under so the low back just starts lifting off the ground, and roll the spine up bone by bone. Use your glutes, your thighs, and press your heels into the ground to help you lift. Then we'll roll back down. We'll do that 2 more times. Let's link breath into it. Inhale, roll on up to a bridge. Exhale, roll back down. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, roll down. Let's come up the same way. Inhale, roll on up. We're going to hold this next one, and you could introduce more of a back bend in by rolling the shoulders under, pressing the hands into the ground, or possibly clasping the hands and pressing those fists into the ground. Continue to press the heels down, squeeze the glutes, use the thighs to lift the hips up. And separate the hands, make space for the hips to lower. And when they do, just knock your knees from side to side a couple of times. Let's start reaching our heels ahead, ending our practice with a moment of stillness together, hands down by your side. Give yourself a small body scan. You can start at the ankles, work your way up the body, just bringing your awareness there and asking that body part to relax. As you slowly work up through every part, this is where I will leave you. Give yourself as much time as you can in stillness through this relaxation exercise. And I look forward to practicing again soon.